Player play on. While littered with higher seeds, the Sweet 16 field will boast some of the top talents in college hoops, whether it be the well-groomed lip sweater of Drew Timme or the 0 to 60 speed of Scotty Barnes. The road to cut down the nets still going to go through some of the game's top dogs. Joining us now from Indy, a man always with his eye on college basketball. Download and subscribe today. CBS Sports senior college hoops writer Matt Norlander. Matt, let's go region by region, talking final boss type stuff here. Pretty wide open in the Midwest from a team standpoint, but if we want to hitch our wagons to the top player in the region, who would that be?
Well, I'm going to look at Quentin Grimes out of Houston here. I think that's the player to watch over the next 4 days, basically, essentially. I don't know if necessarily Houston's going to be the team that definitely comes out of the region in the Midwest. As a reminder, we got Loyola Chicago versus Oregon State, and then Houston versus Syracuse. Buddy Boeheim has been the hottest player. I want to identify for you the player that I think has got a really good shot at having a really good game, particularly in the Sweet 16, that can vault his status nationally and maybe become borderline household name status. Quentin Grimes is that player. Statistically, he's been, I think, undeniably a top 15 player in college basketball this season when you consider what he's done on both ends of the floor for Houston. I think he's got a really good chance to have a really nice game against a quality Syracuse team. Now, that game I think will be close, and Syracuse has a chance to pull the upset. It's the best double-digit seed upset possibility on the board, in my opinion. But in this region particularly, I think he is the best individual talent left in that corner of the bracket, and he is my pick for player to watch this weekend in the Sweet 16.
Certainly going to have to continue to step up with Giroux banged up there for Houston. 2 games in the South region on Saturday. Baylor plays Villanova. Arkansas takes on Oral Roberts. Matt, who's the player from the South region you'll be watching for?
No, this is the big key, who I'll be watching for, because Max Asmus at Oral Roberts and Kevin O'Banner, we want to see them, no doubt about it. Baylor's got a trio, if not a quad of amazing guards, but the player to watch for is Jeremiah Robinson-Earl, because he is Villanova's best player, and his success on both ends of the floor will determine whether or not Villanova has a chance to pull the upset. Robinson-Earl is a borderline top 10 defender in college basketball who can pretty closely defend the 1 through 5 positions there. They're going to need a huge game from him again. He's been pretty good through 2 rounds, Hakeem. They're going to need that again. Keep an eye on him. I'll be interested to see how Baylor fronts him on defense and really who he's matched up to guard, because he can guard almost anyone on Baylor's roster. I get the sense it'll probably be Davion Mitchell, and then on the opposite side of the floor, Mark Vital of Baylor's a really good player, a really good defender. He'll clearly be matched up on Robinson-Earl. Shutting him down will be Baylor's key objective.
Out west, Matt, I mean, you could put the Gonzaga starting 5 into a hat and pick the right answer to this question, but your eyes take us elsewhere. Who are you going to be watching closest this weekend?
Well, my prediction for the Elite is Gonzaga versus USC. But if I wind up being wrong, it's going to be because of this guy, Chris Duarte out of Oregon, who's had a really nice start to this NCAA tournament. He is a former junior college player of the year, has transitioned beautifully at Oregon, hasn't received a ton of pub, but he's been big time. And he could be the kind of guy that brings Oregon to an Elite 8 here with a win over USC, which is technically favored now. So that would be an upset there, both in seed and spread. So, yes, again, I could give you Jalen Suggs, because I think Jalen Suggs can truly vault into another orbit in the next 2 games by the time Gonzaga gets to the Final Four. But to me, the guy to watch that could mean the most to his team advancing is Chris Duarte at Oregon.
Quack, quack. The East region, meantime, offers up some tasty matchups as 1-seed Michigan faces 4-seed Florida State. 2-seed Alabama takes on 11-seed UCLA. I've got Florida State in my Final Four. I know you don't care, but I do. I've got the Seminoles there, Leonard Hamilton, fight on. Matt, who's the player in the East region that you'll be watching for to make a major impact in the Sweet 16?
You're right, Hakeem. You've got Florida State in the Final Four, and I don't care. Just kidding, buddy. Good for you. I hope you're right. I'm going to go with Scotty Barnes. I'm going with Scotty Barnes of Florida State. He is the tallest point guard in college basketball. He's a future lottery pick, in my opinion. I do have Florida State winning in this round and then falling in the Elite 8, and I think that they're going to beat Michigan, and Scotty Barnes is going to be the biggest reason. He's the kind of player where NBA draft nicks, college hoops diehards, Florida State fans, they know who Scotty Barnes is. He was a well-known top 10 in his class commodity coming into college. But this is the stage and this is the spot where he can really take over, and I think that he will in that particular corner of the bracket. I think his performance will mean the most to his team and will lead to FSU going on to a regional final.
That's the only promo we need. Can we just clip that and run that as the March Madness promo for the duration here? You don't get Matt Norlander on the horn from Indy and not ask him for a Final Four prediction. So, Matt, when the dust settles Sunday night, who's hanging in Indy and who's at home?
All right, so right behind me in that bracket, here's who I think is going to be playing in the Final Four. Gonzaga. Then I've got Alabama coming out of the bottom left corner of the bracket there. Got to go with Baylor, although I think a Baylor-Arkansas Elite Eight game could be the best possible combination of any Elite Eight game we get. And then I'm sticking with Loyola Chicago. I say sticking because I had Illinois winning the title. So, hey, I'm going to take the other team from the state of Illinois, and we will go with Loyola Chicago. And it's the closest thing to good news regarding the Chicago Bears I can get. Cameron Krutwig, the star of the Ramblers, huge Bears fan. We've talked about this. So them getting to the Final Four will make me believe that Andy Dalton is actually QB1 for the Bears, if you can follow remotely what I'm telling you here. Loyola, Baylor, Gonzaga, Alabama, that's my Final Four.
My four teams are all still alive, Matt, so you're
very impressive.
Mine still are alive.
He's speaking to your bracket and to my soul as a native Chicagoan, always looking for a distraction. Matt Norlander, always providing one. Thank you, my friend. Hey, for plenty more, be sure to download and subscribe the NCAA March Madness Live app. Get you all your highlights, streaming games, live stats, and everything you could ever want. Come tourney time, download and subscribe the NCAA March Madness Live app. And don't forget, Hakeem's got Florida State in his Final Four.
Yeah, I do.
Want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.